Yes.
Okay.
That took me a minute.
I don't know.
Hey, welcome. This is this week's review preview show. We're in show 8. And we're going to say happy Thanksgiving to that. So we know we got a week away and excited for that. Well, I'm going to get the ball rolling because we're a little limited on time today. And I want to start out with some stories with it being the holidays. First thing I want to start out with is holiday scamming. I did put out a post on Sauter County Daily News on one type of scamming, but Mark, I'm going to kind of toss that to you a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about Walmart.
Okay, so yeah, the holiday scam. Read that story that Betty did about what was it? The love was a love scam.
It was a romantic love scam.
I love you so much. I need your money, type of thing, right?
I don't even want to touch that. You know why? Even when I wrote that in my mind, I'm like, and we see it on TV all the time. We see the Catfish show and all these other shows.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my mind around it. But have I known people that's been scammed over some stuff? Yeah, probably so.
Well, and I watched one of those things where they said they purposely use bad grammar, because you think, well, why don't they spell better? Why do they sound, obviously so terrible? But they say they do that on purpose because if people can overlook that and still engage with them, then they know they've got a real one on the hook.
Oh, wow.
They purposely don't sound like the guy next door just to weed out it's strange.
I mean, we talk about like senior citizens and how they get the phone calls, and I can totally understand that. You might have someone call or they'll think someone's in trouble, and especially when they think it's their grandchild.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would kill you more than anything,
Yeah.
What do you mean, Tommy, you're in trouble?
Oh, honey, let me fix it. I know. So Walmart, you mentioned Walmart. Walmart is now getting into, now this is where we want some feedback from you. We really do. We want to hear your thoughts because this is happening. And they announced it today ahead of Black Friday. You can get a loan at the checkout. So if you've got, $800 or $1,000 worth of stuff, and you go through the checkout, and they basically have an option of cash, credit card, EBT if it's a food product, but you could apply for a loan at the cash register. Now,
wouldn't that hold people up?
They're promising a 7-second turnaround.
Right.
So that they can, but these people, the people that work there aren't trained in loan origination. They're not trained in the privacy laws. So somehow, I don't know, but they're going to have it on that pad where they turn the pad around, in your birth date, in your social security number, and then it says beep and gives you your,
Talk about Hack City.
Yeah,
I'd be scared.
It's going to be available. It's going to be available at Walmart. They did a big press release this morning about it, and so, what are your thoughts? This is a chance for you to talk to us. What do you think? We're not passing judgment either way. We're kind of putting it in your minds, and we want to know what you have to think about it. Would you go to Walmart and get a big bunch of stuff, and instead of putting it in a layaway or only getting a little bit this paycheck, a little bit that paycheck, and a little bit this paycheck, just go get it all at once and then take a loan out on it whenever you go to the thing? And then B, would you trust the Walmart loan situation? I mean, because they're not disclosing.
But what
right
if you
now
get up there and they
the
deny
interest
you?
rate.
You going to have all this stuff in your cart?
Then
that's come on now.
Pardon me, I'm going to put all this stuff out. and so we don't know if it's available at the self-checkout. There's a lot of stuff in the press report that was not clear. So this is all breaking. It's all just happening.
Maybe you're a employee of Walmart and you might have some feedback to clarify.
Yeah, but as a consumer, what would you do? If you're the buyer, would you do this? And how would you feel if you're behind the person in line that's doing this, and like Betty says, they get denied, or they get approved for more stuff, so they want to hold their spot in line and run and grab that other thing.
No. No. And everybody's already anxious anyways through the holidays. Now, I do want to kind of transition a little bit because we always try to review a story in the past week as well. Not that just the scammer one, because I think that's going to fit for the whole entire holiday season, and try to keep people mindful with some of these articles that we're trying to get put out. But going to the Wagner story.
Okay.
I've kind of stayed away from it a little bit. I have some, I want to say, not really a personal connection, but as a business person to a customer of one of the family members.
At this point, we're all invested.
Yeah,
we're all invested.
Right. So I didn't want to talk about the story a whole lot previously. I know there's been some stuff out there.
Right.
But
so one of the defendants had their trial delayed. Okay, and that is fairly common. I mean, it made headlines. Not only in this county, but Pike County, Columbus, Cincinnati, everybody picked up, but this thing got delayed. And they always say, justice delayed is justice denied. And is that what it is?
It's justice delayed, but not justice denied. But
Right. So, I mean, it's part of the legal process. And so what happens is, because since we're all invested literally from the beginning, and it made national news, and so it's continued to capture people's attention. We live in a microwave society, and we want answers now, and we're not adept at motions and delays and continuances and kind of the process of the court system.
And that's frustrating for the victims too. And
it is. It's almost like a re-victimization, but that's how the court system is designed. If you have a good prosecutor, they're going to take their time to make sure they have all their evidence. If you have a good defense attorney, then that person is going to take their time to make sure that they have all of their things that they want to present. So if both the defense and the prosecution are good and doing their jobs, then you're going to see things like these for discovery and for this and for that. And that's just part of it. And it's frustrating. And we as a public aren't used to the judicial arena. And so it just seems really, really frustrating. But in time, this will play out and things will get, the gavel will come down one way or the other. But we don't live in the Wild West where we hang them high at noon. And I know a lot of people say, well, they should just line them up and hang them all at noon on Sunday.
Right.
And that's some of the mindset. But then I ask you to and I'm not defending anybody, I'm just saying, if it were you, would you want to have the presumption of innocence, or would you want to be hung at noon on Sunday?
Right. Yeah, right.
So
right.
This is the process. This is America, and everybody has the right to a defense and the prosecution, and the burden is on the prosecution. So these things take a little bit of time.
Well, I've joked with you before about the whole everybody watches Judge Judy or watches CSI and they think they can solve it in an hour.
Right.
I mean, it don't work that way.
No,
it don't work that way. Even though we all think that we're more knowledgeable about the law by watching them.
Right. Now, how can you, and then you see
let's be real.
Yeah, you see something in real life and you're like, well, I know they should have done this, and did they check for that? And what about, did you pull up the carpet? Pull up the carpet.
I am. I just had to make light of that,
Yeah.
Well, and we want to keep things a little light, but I'll tell you, the next subject that I'm going to come into, and we tell you guys, happy Thanksgiving. We won't be here next week. We are going to skip a week to spend time with our families. With that being said, how do you avoid the stress of the holiday? And I'm going to say Thanksgiving in general right now, because that's what we're coming up on. To give you a little bit of a review, some people say change up tradition or make something new at the table. Like make a new tradition along with an old tradition. Or get another family member involved, maybe delegate. Basically, they're saying don't overdo it.
Right. And sometimes, and this is the time of year, this is the beginning of a time of year when we see depression issues and some of the things that go with that, because traditions are changing. And so when something that you grew up with as a tradition is no longer a tradition, then what happens is you're forced to try to make a new tradition. And if there's multiple siblings, one person may not want your idea of a new tradition, and you may not like their idea of a new tradition. And so it is a difficult time. So we want to talk about, from you guys, the rules of engagement, specifically for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the rules that you have in place for Thanksgiving that has helped you kind of solidify this issue? Because there are plenty of people that avoid the holidays and Thanksgiving at all costs. They'll go to a restaurant and act like the day didn't, and nothing wrong with the restaurant, but I'm just saying they'll go sit and drink a cup of coffee and act like the day doesn't even exist because they haven't congealed into, I said congealed. What am I thinking about? Cranberry sauce already over here? Anyway, so they haven't.
Or add that one to the dictionary. Yeah.
Yeah. So they haven't kind of, formulated a good tradition. So share with us, give us how your traditions work, and more importantly, tell us how they've changed over the years and how your family's been able to adapt to the change in the family dynamics and yesteryear versus this year. And tell us your story. We're here to kind of, we're having a discussion, but we want you to come along with us in the discussion. And so by that, everybody gets a chance to see a full picture. So share with us your rules of engagement for Thanksgiving. And we would appreciate it. We want to read them along with the rest of the viewers.
And then just some extra prayers out there to the folks that might be, and the only reason why I say this time last year, I spent Thanksgiving in the hospital with my grandbaby. Never thought I was going to be at the Ronald McDonald House. And shout out to them because they really put a nice spread together. They brought, a lot of families came together because they had loved ones in the hospital or at Children's or nearby hospitals. They're there as a good service. And so I just want to put a shout out to that because definitely was not my tradition. So yeah,
That's
just
true.
Keep that in mind with your loved ones that might be ill right now, and and keeping them involved or keeping them in the loop. Outside of that, I'm going to kind of change into again shout out. We do want everybody have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy and be thankful. Shout outs for birthdays. So let me kind of jump into that real quick. I keep thinking, I got to keep chugging along.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
guys.
we got to tell everybody why we're going so fast.
Okay, yes. Why we are kind of going a little upbeat, a more, I guess you call it a faster pace. I will be heading out here shortly to Northwest High School in McDermott to interview with Albert Breach and a few students out there who are actually, they're doing like a career week, or they do like career day.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we're going to highlight some stuff on that, and where the students are getting feedback from other business people in the community who are making a difference with these students.
Yes.
Probably the best way to put it.
Yes. So you watch Betty. She's gonna mysteriously appear at Northwest High School here in just a little bit. So that's why we're.
Poof.
Yeah. If we had a good editor, we'd just go boop and do the smoke, and now we're at Northwest.
Yeah. Time, that whole time thing.
Yes.
So let's give a shout out to some people this week. Christina Spencer Miller, happy birthday to you. She's a Scioto County Daily News follower, so I want to give her a shout out. Another couple people, Katie Murphy, Robert Ward. These were a couple people this last week that's had birthdays. Lizzie Gleason. And we'll also give a shout out coming up this next Sunday, Rhonda Clay. Happy birthday to you. Let's see, outside of that, and if I did miss you or Mark doesn't have anybody to suggest, happy birthday to you anyhow, because we like getting those feedbacks, and I try to get out there and research and see who's got their birthdays this week so we can do those shout outs. So I just think it's something extra nice.
Well, yeah, man, birthday's your
I know
day.
it's my birthday.
That's right. You become the axis of the universe that day, so we want to celebrate with you.
Right. And then let's give a shout out to our business partners like Buzz and Daisies.
Buzz and Daisies, Breeches, we're going to go out and feature with them. Patties and Pints, we thank them so very much. If you actually go to Patties and Pints, which a lot of you do, right there when you open up the door, People's Choice Award right there. So we appreciate Patties and Pints and everything that they
should say Briar Patch too.
Briar Patch, you go to Briar Patch and you open their door, you see their award. So we're getting ready to do one more People's Choice Award before the end of the year. We've got one more left, so be looking forward to that as a preview. We're going to do one more People's Choice Award. So whenever you see those out there, vote, 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 vote. And we're going to do that one more time before the end of the year.
And I think it makes a difference with the employees and everyone. I mean, I had a great time doing that with Briar Patch. Great feedback with the owners. All right, so that's what I'm going to kind of wrap up with on that. Preview, of course, I'm going to go back and talk about this because to me it's just exciting. Be my first JC's parade actually down here, and it's their 81st. Unless my parents brought me when I was a child. I'm sorry.
Another 81st.
Yeah.
Because when we went at Portsmouth Little Theater, weren't they open 81 years?
I think so. Yeah. Well, I mean a little bit longer than yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 81 years, and then something else was the Labor Day or the River Days was 71 years. Right?
I think so.
No. Portsmouth Little Theater 71. Yeah, 71.
Okay.
That's right. I remember now. So Portsmouth Little Theater 71, and the River and the JC's is 81.
Yes.
Wow. Talk about traditions. We just got done talking about traditions and how they change over time. But some of them stick, man, through the generations.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's fantastic.
And actually, some feedback that I didn't have in the story that we put up on Souda County Daily News was the parade got postponed last year, and everybody thought that it actually got canceled. But what had happened, because Portsmouth, again, became one of the world record-breaking most Christmas carolers to be sang. And what they did was they went ahead and did the parade at the beginning of that kickoff.
Right.
Since they had a monsoon of a shower hit us last year. We were a very wet year last year, so. But he said, nope, it still went on. We still did what we had to do. He said, and again, and I've had some feedback on there where everyone's like, it's not even Thanksgiving yet. Why are they doing the parade? And everyone's like, they've always done the parade. And again, Leroy Hackworth said, they are always the kickoff to all the events that are to come.
Right. It's a holiday launch. People are calling it the Christmas parade, but yeah, it's the official citywide launch of the holiday season. We're
going to cover it. We are going to be on the Esplanade. We're going to be down with all the lights, and we're going to have a really good view of where the parade's going to come through. And again, I thank Lee Hackworth for that. I talked to him yesterday. I talked to a couple of the business owners yesterday in the area, just so we made sure we was getting into a good spot to preview this for those who can't make it out. But I'm going to tell you right now, the weather is going to be extremely better than average.
Yeah.
So, no rain until probably after midnight. And I'm not a weather person. It is Ohio.
That's your official weather bulletin for the parade.
I'm saying it's going to be good. It ain't going no other way. But all that being said, we are excited about it. We'll have a table set up. Please come over and say hello if you can. And like I said, we're going to have your school team probably be on there. And I guess also the Humane Society is walking the dogs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, and while you're at it, walk some cats. Have fun.
Well, and the reason I'm bringing that up, too, is because they wanted to make sure the deadline is 5 p.m. today.
Yes.
I believe everybody's welcome to participate.
They're looking for dog walkers.
Yeah, and he said they have to strategically place the pets away from the music so that way there's no animals going everywhere.
It's true. It's true. And so when the pets do come, this is important. When the pet section does come, the natural thing is to go pet them. And don't do that. They're already going to be a little freaked out, and you don't know where you are on the parade route. So do your very best to not approach the pets. Let them approach you if they're interested, and they have an interest in you. Let the pets approach you. Don't approach the pets because it's a very high stress time for them. They've never been in a parade before.
And I'm going to say, give us back a story on that, because if you end up adopting one of them pets.
We want to know that.
That's
We'll
right.
do a story on parade pet adoption.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, you know they do that in Short North too. Sometimes they'll do parade of pets and.
Well, we'll do it.
Yeah,
We'll do
so-
it. So whenever, if you find your lifelong companion and you adopt from the parade, let us know and we'll do a whole thing on the parade pet pals.
It's good.
Party.
Yeah, write that up.
Yeah, seriously, don't let your kids go running out. Don't approach the animals. Let them come to you if they're curious. That's it. That's the only thing I can say to add to that, because we don't want anything negative to happen, so they don't do it again next year. We want this to be kind of a thing.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, so just remember they're under stress and let them approach you.
And as I wrap up here, go to Facebook, JC's Parade. That's where you'll contact with them. So, because I know everybody started messaging me last night. Where can I get a hold of them? Nobody's answering. Just leave a message. They'll get back with you. Lee Hackworth has
Blown
been on
away.
that phone.
They're blown away. Yeah.
Yeah, very busy, but they're getting back to people. So again, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and again, thank you for turning in for our 8th week. We're skipping Thanksgiving next week, enjoying it with the families, and then back for the 9th week. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I'm gonna have a outfit expense. No, just
An outfit. Okay.
as I'm drawing.
Need a wardrobe department,
Right.
PLT. Let's hook up with Jim and get some wardrobe. Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you, and you can wave them out.
Your
Yes.
Portsmouth. Choose it. Choose it.
I'm trying.